Here, we are here with another episode 81. Unbelievable! Can't believe we've got this one.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, sorry, we're a little bit late. There was a little bit of a problem with the internet, but it's all good. It's all sorted. We're here now, and yes, so we have a very fun episode ahead. But just in case you guys weren't aware, today's episode is all about
Palpatine.
the man himself,
Yeah.
the man behind it all. That is because I am meeting said man tomorrow, Ian McDermott. I have a photo op at the London Comic Con with him. I am very excited. I'm very excited to. I know it's not going to be long and it's going to be brief, but I get to actually meet him and get a photo with Palpatine.
Yeah.
And so here's little Palpatine joining me today. So do it. But before we begin, got a little thing to show you for tomorrow. Do you want to just hold that for me? So, like we mentioned, we will be wearing our 501st Comjet t-shirts.
Yep.
We're going to be walking around wearing them. So if you are going and you see us, come say hi. And we also, for you wonderful listeners and Comic-Coners out there and cosplayers, we have stickers. Now, I know they don't look overly impressive, but we will be giving these out tomorrow. So for people who are wearing really cool cosplayers, maybe some 501st guys, you go get a 501st Comjet sticker. So we hope to see you there, and we hope to meet some of you guys, and we might get some of you on the podcast in the future. So we got those to give out, which I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Also, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our good friend Tyler, also known as Alpine Vader, because he has sent us some wonderful gifts. So I think I should show you guys now on the podcast.
Yes.
So he sent us quite a bit, actually. He was very generous. Again, make sure to go check out Alpine Vader
on Instagram.
Yes, he is the Vader from
Alpine Garrison in Utah, where the mountains are in America.
But yeah, no, so first thing he sent us is this massive patch. It's huge. And it says Sith Lord Detachment. It's got Vader on it. It looks very cool. Now, like I've mentioned before, I am in the I want to get a patch jacket, and this is gonna help, shall we say? So we've got that one. We have a few more patches as well that he has sent us. We have a sticker, Sith Lord Detachment, and we have Anakin, Hayden's eyes. We have also a couple of patches here. So we have Sith Lord Detachment 501st Unit Celebration Europe 2023. Ooh. So from Star Wars, that was made for Celebration for the, Sith Lord Detachment.
That's very cool.
We have Alpine Garrison 501st Legion. I love that badge, by the way, the little Star Destroyer with the mountains. That's very cool. So we have that one. We have 25th anniversary patch. What looks like the Sith Detachment again. It's very cool. We have Alpine Garrison Celebration cool. August 20. Oh, last year. Celebration August 2000 May 2022.
Yeah.
I am altering the date. Pray I do not alter it further. That's another
very cool.
501st Cares, bad guys doing good.
Oh, yep.
I quite like that. And obviously I think this is just the default 501st Legion patch.
Aww.
So we have that, and then he's also got us 2 coins, should we say?
Aww.
So we've got the Sith Lord Detachment 25th anniversary with a little TK 210 Stormtrooper helmet. There we go. Look at that. Ooh, nice. And we also have a coin of the Alpine Garrison,
Oh,
501st Legion. There we
that's
go.
so cool.
It's very cool. So, like I said, big thank you to Tyler, also known as Alpine,
Alpine Vader.
for sending us these.
Definitely check out his cosplay. We've had him on the show before, but his Darth Vader cosplay is amazing. It's
Yes.
It's Revenge of the Sith, so it's the brand new version of Vader.
And it's what we tend to do is when we get gifts on, we like to sort of send them a little something.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very kind enough to send us this back.
Yeah.
And I will be putting all those patches
on a jacket,
along
with the ones we got from the Lego Bennett.
Yes. So people will be
Oh.
thinking I'm part of the 501st, but I'm nowhere near as clever or as good as these guys. But yeah, I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
That was very kind.
Go check him out.
Yes.
On to the news. Now, I'm going to start us off with this one because it's going to be so we say it's going to be talked about quite a bit. We have a new Rex Funko. Now, I know what you're thinking.
You've already got a Rex.
But
this is a different pose.
This is a Rex I can get out of a box.
True.
Now, that Rex that I have is very special to me, and that one will always mean like so much to me because it is it's Captain Rex, and it is the one that you can only get from the New York Comic Con 2018 or something.
Yeah.
So for me, that one is very special, and I will not get that one out of the box. But this one, we got a Rex and a Krell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really want the Krell, but the Rex pose, the way that he looks, and the fact that it's Krell versus Rex.
Yeah.
The Battle of Umbara is one of my favorite Clone Wars arcs. They just both look very good.
Yeah.
I have to get this set. And I will be, like I said, I will be able to have a Rex out of the box. I don't if you know me, you know that I don't like to get multiples of the same figure. So on my collection, I've only got one Vader. I've only got
one Ahsoka.
Yeah. But I mean, for Anakin, I've got Clone Wars, not Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Vader. But it's his transition. Yeah. So that one's a bit different. Mm-hmm. This I have to make the exception for and get Rex.
I mean, Rex is your favorite. So.
Rex is my boy. But this is he just looks so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One thing that I will notice, which is quite funny, if you look at his helmet here, right? So look at that.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't. So
yeah.
He doesn't have the continuous lines on that he does in the package. Now, again, this is just the promotional image for it, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I feel like he would.
I think he will, but Captain Rex Funko, guys. Yeah. I mean,
the one thing about this one is everyone that's like you and has the one from New York Comic Con, I hope it doesn't devalue those.
I don't think it should, because that one, is the only one that you can get of that in that box and pose. And
I think Funkos are very different to Lego minifigures, in which they have a pose, you can't move them or anything. So
you know which version you're getting. For example, with the UCS Rex minifig, we know that he's coming in a Micro Fighter set next year, and it's the exact same figure. Yeah. Now, for me, that is a mistake because it is going to be devaluing the price of the UCS one.
Yeah.
Because, that was what made the UCS set so
worth getting.
Well, one of the reasons to get it, wasn't it? You're getting a Captain Rex figure. You're getting your Lauren as well, but everyone wants the Rex. Now, obviously, if you're bringing him out in a £10 micro figure set, you completely devalue that set. Now, we didn't buy that Venator just for the Rex.
No.
We bought it because we wanted a UCS set. We love the Venator. It's like my favourite ship. It's one of your favourites.
Yeah.
And the Captain Rex was a big bonus for us.
Yeah.
But this I have to get. Just because I have to get it. I'm sorry.
Also, I don't think we've ever had a Funko of Crow before.
No, this is Crow's
yeah.
first one.
I mean, not that anyone would buy it if it was just Crow, because everyone hates Crow.
But what a clever idea to
But- yeah.
this is Funko realizing this is what the fans want.
Yeah.
They want another Rex that they can, pretty much everyone can buy. Now, I know it's a GameStop exclusive, but that isn't going to stop people from buying it.
No.
You know, and I definitely will have this Rex on display with Krell like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Funko, for another Captain Rex that we pretty much can all have.
Yeah. I feel like before they didn't do many of these sets with like 2 in, but now we've had quite a few. There's
They've
like
had a couple.
The Dooku and the Anakin,
Yeah.
and
Vader
and Luke and stuff like that, and now we've got Pong Crow.
Well, you know,
But, yeah,
like I said, Umbara as well is one of my favourite
arcs. Yeah.
arcs in the Clone Wars. So, you know, this just tells the story even more because you can be like, oh, it's Rex and Krell from Umbara.
Yeah.
You know, so very pleased to see that.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Now you found these little figures.
Yeah.
Now, care to explain what they are? Because I don't know what set these are. Because there's like nothing on the box. It just says Star Wars and Darth Vader.
I think they're probably like a new range, so they're basically aimed at kids. So they're a bit less detailed than the vintage collection series.
So this is a vintage series
but
figure, for example.
They're more detailed than the retro vintage collection. Do you know the ones
yes.
that are like the old Kenner looking ones?
Yeah.
But they're all made by Hasbro. But I think these ones, they don't have as many kind of intricate little things that kids can lose. So I think like their lightsabers are a bit thicker, and like their belts and stuff like that are all sort of on there rather than kind of loose and
maybe.
more
Well, I
accurate,
think
suppose.
apart from that,
and like
apart
the
from
cape and stuff, it's not fabric, it's all plastic.
I mean, I've got to be honest. This Darth Vader one looks quite.
Looks good.
You know, considering it's a, shall we say, like a cheapy version of a, you know, vintage collection.
Yeah.
It still looks quite detailed. Like you can see all the like the lines on his outfit, all the sort of creases.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think this is quite a good figure.
Yeah.
There is a couple of them that we have. So
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Vader,
Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. Again, very simple. I quite like the boxes as well, isn't it? Because you could almost collect the back bits of the boxes, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Mando with his Darksaber and blaster. Again, these figures look quite good considering they're.
Yeah, I think just like from that picture, you can see like Mando. Is it like a bandolier thing that he's got, which holds the bullets and stuff?
Yeah.
Like it's all just one color, and like his blaster is just silver. It's not like he's got any battle damage or anything like that, like some of the Black Series and Vintage collection.
But look at the Darksaber, man. The Darksaber is very accurate.
Yeah. I think these are almost like the newer version of like the Kenner figures.
Oh, those are classics.
Yeah. And we've got
Ahsoka again. Look, just very simple. You know, it's only got like 2 lightsabers as an accessory. It's not like a lot of stuff. Luke
got his backpack.
Put a little Yoda in it.
And Sabine Wren, which she comes with quite a bit because she's got the jetpack and the lightsaber and the shield and stuff.
It's a bit of a weird combo because she's got like added gauntlet as well.
Yeah.
So she's got gauntlet, lightsaber, shield, and jetpack. It's like, bloody hell.
Yeah. And we got Paz Vizsla.
Bloody hell.
He's got his massive gun, and
he's got his flamethrower, he's got his jetpack, and he's got some absolute massive gun there.
Yeah.
But again, like good little find on these figures, quite cool. I still personally will be collecting like the vintage collection figures.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think these will probably be a little bit less expensive for like Christmas toys and stuff.
Yeah.
We got Grogu.
Grogu in his little basket. It's quite cool, cute, small, but
Yeah. Well, I bought the Black Series Grogu, and it was full price for a tiny little Grogu, but I couldn't resist because he was so cute. I love Grogu.
Yeah.
And we have
another hot toy.
so last week we had
Yes,
the
the Thrawn.
Thrawn, and now we've got Marok,
I
which
got
we
the-
didn't see much of in the circus.
I
Series.
know, and it
He
was
died a bit too soon there.
Everyone was thinking, myself included. I'm gonna put it out there.
But he did look very cool.
It's like, oh, it's Galen Marek, but I love the helmet. I love the armor.
Yeah.
Like you can even see like the rust on his armor.
Yeah, it's
and his
very
lightsaber
textured.
is very detailed as well when you look at it.
Mm.
We got a couple of photos of him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, these hot toys are very customizable, should we say?
Mm-hmm.
But again, looking very cool.
Yeah. So he comes with like different lightsaber blades as well. So there's those ones which are kind of triangular to make it look like it's spinning really fast. And then there's just the straight normal ones as well, which is quite cool.
It is very cool, and I like that very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that is it from all the new figures, I believe. So that brings us onto today's episode.
Yep.
Now, like I mentioned, I'm meeting the man, the myth, the Sith behind it all.
The legend. He's a Sith legend.
Well, he is, and he is also the Senate.
Yes.
And I can't wait to do it. Should I say that to him tomorrow? I don't know. I feel like
I can't believe I did it.
I did it. I met him. I'm very excited to meet him. So yes, today's episode we will be talking about
All about
Darth Sidious, also known as Sheev Palpatine or Chancellor Palpatine. As you noticed, I don't know if you guys have paid any attention, but all the decor today is very like the background's very dark and Sith. The name and the little bit at the bottom is all red as well. So today's episode, we're going to the dark side for this man because he is the Sith.
I mean, we talk about like good side characters like the clones and stuff, and Anakin, and now let's talk a bit about the corrupt guy behind it.
Yes, I mean obviously it does help. The fact that I'm meeting him is probably the reason that he's getting an episode.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, he is, I was explaining to someone at work the other day.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, you got any plans this weekend? And I was like, oh, I'm going to meet Ian McDermott, who plays Palpatine.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, cool, that's cool. Is he like one of your favourite characters? And I was like, to be honest, not really. But he is the character that is like behind everything. The whole Skywalker saga is all because of this one character, basically, in a way.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's lots of other things going on, but, he manipulated the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
He was the one who turned Anakin. He came back from the dead with one of the most, like, my favourite lines in the sequels. Just such an iconic character, and it got to the point where after I saw him at Celebration in the villains of the sequel panel,
mm-hmm.
I wanted to meet this guy. Now, I'd already spent all my money on meeting Hayden, D. Bradley Baker, buying all my stuff, and Ewan McGregor. So I was like, I don't have the money for it. Yeah. But then, London Comic Con comes along in the winter, and he gets announced. Now, there is a bit of a price difference as well compared to Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
At Celebration, he was like 150 quid plus.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I've paid like 95. So I know it's still a lot, but it is a lot cheaper than I would have been paying. And yeah, let's get into this character, the man behind it all. Where do you want to start?
So something I found out, which I didn't know before, and I don't know if I'm just being silly and everyone knows this, but apparently Palpatine was born on Naboo.
Yes, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, because that's why he's a Naboo's, because he's like a Naboo
Yeah, he's
senator.
like a senator, but yeah, I didn't know he was from Naboo. Most people know this, but his name's Sheev Palpatine, which apparently was announced in one of the books. I think it was it one of the Throne books? I don't know. There was a book where it mentioned Palpatine's name, and that's how everyone knows it now. Because it's not actually mentioned in the films. So
Yeah, it's not a name that you hear. You don't hear someone call him.
Because everyone
Sheev.
just goes by his surname.
Palpatine.
Or like Chancellor.
Which you would, because you know he is the sort of, what we say, like head of state in a way.
Yeah.
So you're not going to call him, all right, Sheev.
Yeah, that's right. He was born 84 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay, so that basically makes him 84 in A New Hope. Well, around the time of A New Hope. And then Return of the Jedi, I think, is like 3 years after that. No, can't remember, but he's in his 80s by the time
he looks very old.
We first see him in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
because Ian McDermott played Palpatine, like actually played the Palpatine. Do you know the story behind that?
I think I've researched it.
Oh, you've researched it. There you go.
Well, let's try and find it. Because it wasn't originally going to be Ian McDermott. It was going to be a guy called Alan Webb, who was a 75-year-old stage actor. But before production started, then Alan Webb became ill, and then they were going to hire Ben Kingsley.
Oof.
Yeah, but then obviously him and Ian McDermott read for the role. Ian McDermott definitely got it because he plays it so well. And
if I'm right as well, this Alan, he was the one who played him in the original version of
No, that was a lady.
It was a lady, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So in Empire Strikes Back, there's a scene where Vader goes like, "What is thy bidding?" And then there's a hologram of the Emperor, and it was played by a lady called Marjorie Eaton, but it was dubbed over because obviously you don't want to be in a lady's voice. So then a guy called Clive Revill gave the original Palpatine voice, but then when they released the movies on DVD, then they obviously changed it to
yes, I think it was the 2004 DVD version that they released it, and they changed it to Ian McDermott's Emperor Palpatine.
So any modern version, if you watch it on Disney Plus or on DVD or Blu-ray, it will all be Ian McDermott. There's no trace of a lady.
I mean, if you do find any images of it, you can clearly see as well that it doesn't look that
YouTube.
good.
Yeah, so you guys can look at it on YouTube. You can see it's a lady with just prosthetics or whatever, but it's all really bad quality because obviously it's VHS quality.
So when you see the eyes and all that, the eyes are almost they're fake. It just looks very bad, and I'm very glad that that's one change that they've made, and it's and Palpatine, the fact that it was Ian McDermott as well that come back and done it, it's yes.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I know Ian McDermott's the only one that's played Palpatine, but he plays it so well, I can't imagine anyone else playing Palpatine. So
that was that role was meant for him in a way. I know it sounds weird, but it's he played him in Return of the Jedi, and then the fact that when George was doing the prequels, decided to bring Ian back, and when you look at him as well in Return of the Jedi and the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, you would say it's two different people. It doesn't. I watch Return of the Jedi. I'm that doesn't look like Ian McDermott. It's so hard to be like that.
The voice is there.
Yeah,
I think it's just because obviously he was younger at the time, so he's got a lot of prosthetics to make him look like he's been like lightning in the face.
And can I say as well, when I went to that panel, Ian did do the famous Emperor laugh.
Yeah.
And that was hearing him do that laugh is so iconic when you're there. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of you know this already from watching the movies, but in case you didn't know, he's trained by Darth Plagueis.
Do you ever hear the tragedy
of Darth Plagueis the Wise? So he kind of explains this in Revenge of the Sith, but if you didn't kind of get it, then once Palpatine had learned all he could from Darth Plagueis, he ended up murdering Plagueis. Because that's why he goes something like, he can save other people from death, but not himself. So that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, when he's like, ironic.
Yeah. So apparently when he killed Plagueis, that took place after he represented Naboo in the Senate. So he already had, like, you know, hard footing. So he knew he was fine.
Because as well, the original plan for Palpatine was he was going to be the face of the Senate. Like, you know, he was going to be the Chancellor.
Yeah.
And Plagueis was going to be another senator, like, and was basically going to be like running the Senate from like the shadows, basically as like a puppet master. And he'd be like, "Oh, chance, like I'm going to get Palpatine to do this," and then obviously Palpatine killed him.
Yeah,
ironic.
Didn't get a chance. Oh dear. This was quite interesting. So apparently in Palpatine's office there was a statue on his desk, and he hid his lightsaber in that statue. So that's why when, you know, Samuel L. Jackson and all the other Jedi Masters come in, like Kit Fisto and all that, that's why he's like so on hand with his lightsaber, because apparently it's just on his desk. Which is weird because it's like in plain sight of everyone, but it's in a little statue.
Could you imagine if like you were a cleaner? You're like, oh, hang on.
Yeah, like I feel like I need to like look up what this statue looks like whether it's covered and it's just a statue that sort of comes up and then he takes his lightsaber out, or whether his lightsaber is actually on show.
Well, his hand, I thought it was like up his sleeve because he's like.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think he like because
he sensed them coming in and then sort of grabbed it, hid it in his sleeve.
He's like, well, hey,
little like pocket saber. Who needs a pocket knife? You got a pocket saber. So also this is a bit interesting. So in the Clone Wars, when he's fighting Savage on Mandalore with Maul, he has two lightsabers, but they're both identical. But in the movies, he never has two. He only has one. So I'm wondering where he kept the other saber, to be honest. Maybe both of them are in it. Or maybe he had a saber in his pocket and a saber on his desk.
Maybe. Because I definitely know that he wasn't a fan of the like lightsaber combat. Like he basically used it to mock the Jedi. Because it was like, to him, he was like, the power comes from like the Force.
Yeah. He
doesn't need a lightsaber, but he had one because it was like a mockery of the Jedi having their sacred weapon, sort of thing.
I mean, what I find is interesting as well, like in the Clone Wars, he had two lightsabers, but then Revenge of the Sith, he's got full-on Jedi Masters entering his room, and he only uses one saber.
Yeah, but he took out three of them.
So he's almost just like, well, yeah, I can take you Jedi out easy.
Yep.
Didn't take Yoda out very easy.
I know, he got very lucky with that.
Yeah. Also, his lightsaber was like really unique. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Palpatine's saber, but
silver and gold, isn't it?
Yeah, like it has gold accents on it. It's not like a Sith saber at all. Because it's very like smooth and it has the gold on it, which Sith don't usually have.
Again, I think it was meant to be as like a mockery. of the Jedi, being like, "Oh look,
I mean, maybe if anyone saw it, then he'd say it's like an old Jedi lightsaber or something.
Oh yeah, someone gave it to me.
General Grievous gave it. He sold it to me from his collection.
I don't think he would part ways with one of his sabers from his collection.
Every saber's a fine addition to his collection.
Exactly.
So, an early draft of Revenge of the Sith showed Palpatine being Anakin's father, in a way. So, not really his father, but manipulating the midichlorians through the Force to create Anakin and Shmi. So, George Lucas apparently scrapped it, but then it returned years later in the Vader comics. So, I've not read it, but there's a Vader comic where apparently Vader has a Force vision, and it shows him how the Emperor may have created him, but it's sort of left up to the reader's interpretation whether it's if it's a lie that Vader's just seeing or if it's actually how he was created. So yeah, it's up in the air a bit, that one. It's canon, but it depends what
I think, to be honest, it's a weird... I personally don't believe that, because when you look at the circumstances in Phantom Menace, the chances of him creating this Anakin to then be stumbled upon, at the right timing of the princess, the queen has escaped Naboo. Their ship is damaged, not destroyed.
Yeah.
They land on Tatooine. Palpatine doesn't even know, where they are.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's I don't believe that one. And yeah, I think he definitely obviously was the one who manipulated Anakin and changed him into Vader.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's too much stuff that happened for there to be oh, this was my plan I've created, and this Anakin and the Jedi are going to find him this. Is no.
Yeah, potentially another being created Anakin.
Plus, with the fact as well that the in canon as well, this is canon.
Yeah.
There are the Mortis God beings.
Yeah.
The father, which is the embodiment of balance, the son, which is the embodiment of the dark side, and the daughter, which is the embodiment of the light.
Yeah.
Though, if you've got those beings as canon in the Star Wars universe, they must have had, if Anakin was created by the Force itself, he's probably come from the father rather than Palpatine, in my opinion.
I mean, when Anakin went to Mortis, all the father wanted to do was get Anakin to almost take over his role because he's the chosen one. So yeah, that could be right, because then the father would have a reason to create Anakin, because he's he's my replacement. But who knows? I mean, we know that Shmi didn't have a husband because Qui-Gon says to her, who's the father? And she goes, there was no father. So it's almost she's oh, this miracle has happened. I've had this boy, and then he's been taken away from me. But,
But she did go on to have a husband.
Okay.
Lars.
Yeah, that's true.
Shmi Lars.
Shmi's my wife. But then she died, and it was really sad. And I didn't like the Tuscans, but then Boba Fett made me like the Tuscans a bit more.
You like that tribe of the Tuscans?
Yeah, but the tribe that killed Shmi, I'm nah.
But there ain't any left.
Yeah, true. Not even the children.
No one survived.
No. So we all know in Return of the Jedi, Palpatine goes down the Death Star reactor. So after that happened, I'm going to talk a little bit about Rise of Skywalker now. So any of you sequel haters. I'm sorry.
No.
But
We don't have that.
Palpatine is in it, so
What?
we got to somehow Palpatine return.
Yes, now I know that line is very annoying for fans, but when you look at what Star Wars are doing at the minute in terms of like the shows, and
They're trying to make
they are
sense.
making that sort of line more like accurate. But for me as well, like I know I've mentioned it before when we talked about Palpatine in the past, but that bit when Kylo goes to Exegol,
And he goes,
and-
I've been
and
all
he's-
the voices inside
your
your head. I love that.
but it's just a bit when it's like, because I remember being in the cinema watching that, and I remember when I heard Palpatine be like, "My boy," like the way that he says it in his iconic voice, I genuinely was sat there and I had goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "Oh God, it's him!" Like it's him,
Ian McDiarmid.
and it was just like, oh, I love it. And so yeah, do you know what? You know, say what you like about like the sequels and that, but that was just for me. Oh,
I think one of my favourite bits from Rise of Skywalker is that bit where he goes, I've been all the voices inside your head, and it's like Darth Vader's voice. And
it's
I'm like,
Vader's. It's like
Ah!
it's like Snoke's voice as
Yeah.
well. You know, like this
so
just
cool.
shows you how. I think we need to talk about how powerful
Yeah.
Palpatine is.
Okay. Well, I have a bit of information on Rise of Skywalker.
Go on. Go on.
So, after Return of the Jedi, when he falls down the reactor, so he lived in the care of the Sith acolytes on Exegol. So Exegol is the planet where they go in Rise of Skywalker. So he was taken care of by Sith acolytes, which I've only heard of Sith acolytes in like the Old Republic kind of era. So it's good to have them here. But also there's going to be like an acolyte show, so I'm not sure if they're going to delve into acolytes on Exegol. But anyway, so his body wouldn't survive because he's fallen down a reactor. So what they had to do was make a clone of Palpatine. So his spirit would live on if it had a body. So it's kind of a bit like a possession, which is very creepy. And yeah. But he was so powerful, he could access all the spirits of the Sith Lords past. So this is why he has like all these different voices and stuff. But the version of him we see in Rise of Skywalker is a clone of Palpatine because his body would never survive. But also it's a very like imperfect clone because if you look, like he's got like weird hands and he can't move, so he's like on this weird machine.
That sort of takes him
Yeah, because he couldn't move by himself. So yeah. And what I've heard before is like Snoke is kind of like a failed clone of Palpatine. That's what I've heard before. But obviously, like we've seen in The Mandalorian, like all these clones and stuff, and they're very like, I don't know,
deformed,
mutilated and stuff. So I think they probably went through quite a hefty cloning process to try and, you know, this is why they want like Nala Say's help in the Bad Batch and stuff, because it's like she's done this with Jango Fett. So I don't know, maybe they had her help.
Just a shout out, I cannot wait for Bad Batch Season 3.
Yes.
I saw the trailer. Well, I know you haven't
saw
seen
the trailer.
I saw the trailer when I was at
I
Celebration.
didn't get in the panel.
Well, you weren't even there.
I
You
wasn't there that
were
day.
back in Bristol, and I was on my loans and at the panel.
Sorry.
But it was a very good, and the fact they showed it like 3 times just got me like, I'm very excited for
I
that.
feel like that one they've kept pretty like incognito. Like I haven't seen any leaks online.
No, what like, and the funny thing about it as well, apart from obviously us talking about it here, I don't know. I haven't seen like anyone since Celebration
like,
talk about the trailer and what we saw. Now, again, what we saw.
I think everyone's just really disappointed in Tech dying, to be honest.
Well, it is very sad, and
I think
basically,
they were hoping for a comeback.
but it was just like, it's so good. There's so much stuff. Like when you see little like second bits,
Yeah.
you know, and you see like Rex in like his armor, and you see like Hauser, and you see like Wolf. It's like this is crazy. This is crazy.
I for like each season, we get to see like more and more of the clones, and it's like Clone Wars season 3. No, what is it? Season 8.
Season 3.
Season.
But one thing that I
I
will
know
say,
Bad Batch season 3, but like Clone
I
Wars
know
season
what
8.
you meant.
There you
But
go.
what I will say as well, what they did well, speaking of Bad Batch and Palpatine,
Yeah.
is how, again, showing how manipulative and controlling of the whole story Palpatine is.
Yeah.
Palpatine, when the footage of, I think it was Admiral Rempart, I think, or something.
Yeah.
When the footage was shown in the Senate of him destroying the, Camino, Palpatine makes this rare appearance in the Senate and swings it on its head, and it's like, well, this is a reason for us to conscript our own soldiers, because these clones were following the orders that was from this admiral, So even like a situation where you think it's a loss, he's turned it into a win, switched it up on his head, and he is still in control of the whole story,
Yeah.
So, and again, Ian McDermott's voicing it.
Yeah.
Spot on. I actually also really liked him in Kenobi, in the cameo at the end, because it's what I thought they did very well at the end of that.
Yeah.
Palpatine was able to, just by having a little conversation with Vader, was able to turn his attention from, I have to find Kenobi now and kill him, to, I'm your master, you do my bidding. This isn't about Kenobi and that. And again, it's just, he just has that power over, like, he has everyone in his hand. And this is Vader. This is like the guy that the whole galaxy is scared of. Yet Palpatine has him like in his hand.
Yeah.
Such a powerful character. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, honestly,
it's
no,
Vader.
because you're talking about stuff that I've not got written down, like Kenobi and all that. So
it was a very good cameo, and I'd love to know how long it took for him to get back up in makeup.
It was so like unexpected as well, because we all had the spoiler alert for Kenobi, but we had the scene with Qui-Gon Jinn, and we were all like, "Oh my god, it's Qui-Gon Jinn!" And then all of a sudden, there's like a scene with Vader, and he's like, in his castle, and then we see like a hologram of Ian McDermott, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it can't get any better than this finale."
And as well with Palpatine as well, they gave him like the old man sort of look. So when you sort of, even though this is still like 5 years, I think, before A New Hope, by the time he looks more like Return of the Jedi Palpatine than Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Darth Sidious.
It would have to be to kind of make sense.
I know, but it's clever, isn't it, how they got that? And to be honest, I'm a little bit worried of wearing that quite not very flattering Palpatine Darth Sidious t-shirt tomorrow, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Who knows?
I swear, he's like, that is such a hideous top. I'm gonna be like,
oh,
like, so I just cover his face up and have to
No, I think it's cool to have like matching tops.
Well, I've tried with the people that I meet. I want to always have a top, so it's like, this is who. So when I show it to people who are like, "What's Star Wars?" I can be like, "That's him."
Yeah, very true. So when Palpatine returned in Rise of Skywalker, it wasn't the first time that we'd seen him return. So there was a comic which is Legends now. It's called Dark Fate. And Palpatine had been resurrected as Emperor into a series of clones which tormented Luke. So I've not personally read this comic, but I think they used it a lot for kind of reference in what they did in Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, I haven't read it myself, but I have watched stuff with it and heard of it, and I've seen like the sort of famous image of like there's like a guy coming out of like a tank,
Yeah.
and he's got like a lightsaber, and it looks nothing like Palpatine, but it's like
Yeah.
that whole clone thing, which
Yeah.
very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. So there's a series of novels called Aftermath. And it is...
I have them on there.
You have them
Up there.
Oh yeah. So it is revealed that Palpatine had a plan to cull weakness from the Empire after he would die. So this is all part of like Operation Cinder. So
do you want me to explain Operation Cinder?
Yeah.
So Operation Cinder is something that we see in the Battlefront 2 story, which basically takes place.
And Mandalorian.
Yes, but it's like this is where it comes from.
Yeah.
Where we first get it. So it's like Palpatine. Obviously, the second Death at the start of the campaign, the second Death Star is destroyed. A messenger, basically resembling Palpatine's like face on like a hollow thing. Looks very much like a Daft Punk helmet. Basically delivers a message to all the remaining Empire.
Is this the one in the Battlefront 2? Yeah.
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
Jyn Erso. What's his name? Not Jyn Erso. Iden Verso. That's the one.
Yes. But yeah, so basically he delivers a message. Operation Cinder is a message to all remaining remnants of the Empire to destroy certain planets. And like completely obliterate them. So the whole idea of Operation Cinder was, if I die, I'm taking you lot with me, basically, And what we learn as well, like in The Mandalorian, is it is mentioned on, I can't remember the guy's name, but when Mando takes his helmet off.
Oh,
you know the one I mean? With the tank driver.
Mayfeld.
Yes. And obviously he reveals it to someone. He's like Operation Cinder, so it is definitely canon.
Yeah.
And it's also confirmed as well, basically, that Operation Cinder is what a Night of 1,000 Tears was, because one of the targets was Mandalore, and obviously they've carried it out and completely obliterated Mandalore as part of Operation Cinder. So that's Operation Cinder.
There we go. Another planet it included was Naboo, which I thought was very shocking.
What's he think he's doing there?
Naboo is his home planet, and also like it's just beautiful. Like I have a soft spot for Naboo because I love Padme, and Naboo is just beautiful. But also before Operation Cinder, he had a plan to cull weakness from the Empire after he would die. So essentially, so his plan was basically to draw out the weakest Empire members. So anyone that wasn't, very good at being in Imperial, I suppose.
That's a good way to say
it. Like Thrawn and like Tarkin and stuff, they're all like, Palpatine's always like impressed with them, but like the weaker members are a bit like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this kind of thing, like not doing their job very well. So the plan was to send all of the weakest Empire members and their foes into battle on Jakku, and then they were gonna destroy Jakku, but then obviously it would leave all of the strongest members of the Empire left to kind of complete Operation Cinder and everything. So it is revealed that Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, which we all were a bit shocked at.
I mean, it was a bit of a weird one because it was like
Palpatine has a son.
Well, yeah, it was like Palpatine's had a son, but it's like, okay, this is a bit of a weird twist, but it also does, in a way,
makes sense how she had like the lightning come out that time.
Well, make it how she's so powerful with the Force, you know, because now some people might disagree, but Palpatine is definitely up there in my opinion as one of the most powerful Siths
Oh, yeah.
of all time.
100%.
You know, he, in my opinion, he is up there with Nihilus, with Revan.
Yeah.
You know, these are like the, you know, Darth Nihilus, for example, could basically take the whole like essence of a whole planet. You know, that's
Yeah.
power.
Wow.
But his power as well, you know, he was able to come back from the dead, basically. You know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously Palpatine had a son. The novelization of Rise of Skywalker explains it in a bit more detail, which I've not read it, but this is what I've heard. So her dad is called Junior, and he is in fact a clone of Palpatine. So he looks just like Palpatine, I guess. He ended up leaving Palpatine, getting married, having and raising Rey, obviously. But he hid her far away from Palpatine. So that's why she's like on Jakku, because she lived like her childhood there, like as far away from Palpatine as she could.
So I know this is a bit weird, right?
Yeah.
We say Rey is
A Skywalker.
Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah.
But if Palpatine's son
Mm-hmm.
is just a clone of Palpatine,
Then
wouldn't that be she's his daughter?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a
I think it's a bit like Jango Fett and Boba Fett. Like he says, "Oh, you're right, son," or whatever, but it really is him. Like
you're right, son. You're right, son.
He's like, "Oh, damn," but like he refers to him as his son. He refers to him as dad, but they're the same people. It's just like one of them's younger. So I think it's that kind of concept.
You know what I mean? It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Though.
It's a bit weird. And I think it's weird how he would call his son Junior.
I think he watched the Cool Run-Ins. Junior
So,
Devil.
there you go. But yeah, I think Rey was honestly just kind of like abandoned on Jakku when she was young, because she obviously doesn't know her parents and stuff. So I think she was kind of left to fend for herself to protect her from Palpatine, like finding her and stuff. Because obviously, if her parents had been there, Palpatine may have had a way of like tracking them. I don't know. In Rise of Skywalker, they created the throne in Ralph McQuarrie's 1981 sketch for the original throne room of the Death Star. So in Return of the Jedi, you've got the throne room where it's got the throne and then like the window that you kind of see out and stuff. Throne. So Ralph McQuarrie, the original like sketch artist, he obviously created like a few designs for it, but there's one version where it's throne and it has like kind of spikes coming off it. So they recreated that version of the throne on Exegol for Palpatine.
Okay.
So cool. He only sits in it for a little bit before like Rey gets to him. It's like the scene where she's sort of like hearing all the Jedi, and there's like all the Star Destroyers. But yeah, that was an original like concept art for 1981.
That's very cool.
Just yeah. George Lucas looked at real-life dictators and political leaders in his inspiration for Palpatine, such as Adolf Hitler, Napoleon, Julius Caesar, and Richard Nixon.
I love how you got all those like really horrible people, and then at the end it's just Richard Nixon.
Yeah. But you know, we've referenced this a lot, like the Empire and First Order in general look very kind of Nazi war uniform and stuff. And
well, we know that was one of the inspirations in terms of the uniform. Like the Imperials are they have that sort of grey uniform, like very similar to the German soldiers.
Yeah.
You know.
And obviously Palpatine, he's very feared, and I think, you know, a lot of those political leaders and stuff were very feared, so it's kind of like, you know, he's taking inspiration from that. And obviously, like Adolf Hitler and stuff, they were bad people. They were evil. So Palpatine is evil.
Yeah, but a very important character
Yeah,
to the whole Star Wars story.
it
And
wouldn't be Star Wars without him.
no, and I'm meeting him
Tomorrow.
I do wonder.
I know I'm kind of like, oh, should I have got a ticket? I met him as well. But he's personally not one of my favourite characters.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But-
I've said that he isn't one of my favorites. You know, like there. You know, when I talk about favorites, we've got like D. Bradley Baker as like Rex and the clones.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Hayden Christensen as Anakin is one of my favorites.
100%.
Tem as Boba Fett is,
Padme.
Oh, don't. One day. But for me, it's just he's that much of like an important character. Like when I have like the photos up,
Yeah.
like I want his photo up there of like me with him because it's like he's such a big part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Will he say any lines? Do you reckon when I meet him?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll say something about your shirt in his like Palpatine voice.
Like,
I approve of this shirt.
that would be very cool.
Nice.
That'd be very cool. I mean, I hope he does, and you'll find out next week how we get on.
Yeah, we'll take some pickies and we'll let you know next week.
Yes. And again, if you're going there, make sure you come and say hello to us. We will have
come get a sticker.
Our t-shirts. We'll have our 501st Comms Out t-shirts.
We will.
And we'll have our stickers.
Yeah, come get a sticker.
And it would be nice to just meet you guys and have a chat with you.
Yeah, maybe some of you can come on.
And you can tell us what you think of the episode or the podcast if you listen to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Shall we do meme of the week?
Yes.
Or do you want to do your troop of the week?
We can do my troop of the week. So
You do your troop of the week.
Okay. So I found this person on TikTok. He's called Edson Aurelio Hudson. And at first, this looks like a complete mess. So it's like paint.
Mm-hmm.
But then he turns it into a Star Wars picture. I'm just going to wind it on a little bit so you guys can see. So he ends up turning it into an 8080 Walker.
That's very cool.
And I'm just like, this is so creative. Like, it just started as like a blob and a bunch of lines, and he's made it into an 8080, or an AT-AT, as some of you call it.
An AT-AT.
An AT-AT. But yeah, I just thought that was very cool. I saw it yesterday, and I was like, troop of the week.
That is a very good.
It does look very cool.
And yeah, give him a shout out.
Yeah. Very cool.
If we saw you in person, you would be getting a sticker.
Yeah.
Meme of the week. We thought, well, I didn't think this was Chloe's idea, but
I thought, being that we're doing a Palpatine episode, let's do Palpatine meme and stick with the theme. There you go. It rhymed as well. Stick with the theme, with the meme.
There we go.
Here we go. When Mum peeks in to check if you're asleep at night and leaves again.
Now, we've all been there. I've done this myself.
100%.
You pretend to be asleep. You give it a like.
And meanwhile, your Nintendo DS is going off under your pillow. So it's like Palpatine going, ah. And then there's him going, and he's like playing the Nintendo DS. I love it. I've been there. And then the next day you got school and you regret it, but you can't beat a bit of Mario Kart on DS.
There was also another contender for meme of the week this week, and it was the same sort of thing. So it was the same image as the top one, and it says password, and password was Palpatine, and then underneath it had like a little red bar, and it was like
2 week.
2 week.
And then it's a
I'm
picture
2
of
week.
going, after a week. Love it.
But you know, again, this whole scene of unlimited. Like,
love it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite memes to use and gifs on like messages and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've seen a video of a cosplayer. Actually, he went to like the tech section of a store, and they had like those like charging packs with like the brick things, and he just looks at them and goes, "Unlimited power," and I just love it.
I like that. It's very good.
Oh.
But yeah,
There we go.
so that's going to be it from us this week.
Yes.
We'll be back next week. Again, we will, next week's episode, we might not have so much of like a topic, because we're probably going to spend most of it talking about our experience at London Comic Con tomorrow, who we met in terms of like, cosplayers. We'll try and get some cool pictures of the cosplayers that we meet and get them on here for you guys to see yourself.
If we buy anything Star Wars related, we'll let you know.
Oh yes, we probably will be. If they have some cool figures or that I want, hey, it's going on there. And again, obviously, I will also have the picture of me and the man himself on the screen as well, so you can enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it from us this week, guys.
Yeah.
We hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Again, a fun episode on a very important character and someone that was behind everything. So we're gonna leave it there. So from me, may the force be with you, and we'll see you next